We are living in a world of energy that is constantly moving. We can perceive this energy in a color, a smell, a tone, a movement, and every color has a feeling, every tone has a smell, and this is part of the neutrino ocean passing through us that we are interpreting with our senses. When we have clairsenses or we're psychic, we are seeing beyond the veil, we are seeing in higher densities or dimensions. And when we see and feel and hear everything at once, this is actually called synesthesia, where we're psychically immersed in the world. We don't have to have all of these gifts in order to call ourselves a psychic or an intuitive or sensitive. Our gifts generally unlock when our frequency rises, but your being might emphasize certain senses or gifts above others, or as a baby, you might just not have adapted to socialized perception, which is why you still have these gifts, and you have retained your psychic gifts because of this. Personally, I've retained clairsentience but had to reclaim clairvoyance. And now I see energy and auras again, and I teach this in my course, Reclaim Your Psychic Gifts. The link is below, where I teach you how to reclaim your own psychic gifts. Because I'm still rediscovering my own clairvoyance, I'm super passionate, and in this video I want to share some of the things that I clairvoyantly see. So basically I see auras now, and our auras get the color of our chakras, and you can see them here. So your dominant chakra actually gives your aura the color that is primary. And we might have one primary color or two or three. It kind of depends, and it can also change a little bit over time. Remember, energy is in motion constantly. So it is actually not a static thing that we can see in an aura photo or painting. As you can see here, we have on the left, we have an aura that is blue, it has psychic colors, it has indigo and white, and it's probably a very sensitive, soft, calm person. On the right, we have a nurturing green and pink aura. And these auras are moving and shifting constantly, as you can see. The chakras are lighting up, depending on which one is active. We can have sparkles of ideas. You know, this is an idea that literally gets sparked in our aura. And maybe we have this pulse of energy moving out of our aura, and we can impact the world with our energy because we're suddenly very enthusiastic. And our auras are constantly interacting with our environment and with each other. So we might give off love or certain other energies and communicate these beyond the words. And with our senses, we can feel or see or hear these energies. And as you saw just now, there was a little spark in the aura again. This can actually be a fairy or a spirit guide giving us an idea. It can be a flash of inspiration. It can be a reaction to a sensory stimulant, or we can get triggered really deeply and our aura just gets red and spiky and it moves really fast and jagged, and it is actually very unpleasant to other people. Even though they can't necessarily see it, we can feel it, and our aura might shrink in response and kind of dull in color. Actually, we can also attack each other with energy, and you can see that as these sort of shooting out things that I just put in animation. So there's this constant shape, swirling, moving light show going on in our energy field. And you might not catch all of it all the time, and it's not necessary, because you don't also catch all of the body language of somebody else. In order to really understand them, you only have to get the gist of it, you know, the most important things. And actually, these shapes and colors and frequencies, they move in sacred geometrical patterns. So it is more than just a little spike here and there. It is a whole complex configuration of energy. And if you've ever taken drugs that are really hallucinogenic, you'll maybe have seen this, where you saw these shapes on the ceiling moving around or around people. They can be very harmonious or very dissonant, depending on whether this person has a good energy or whether this room is a peaceful place or not. So we might actually start getting so much information when we open up clairvoyantly. It can actually be overwhelming, which is why I think our brains are actually filtering out this information most of the time. For me, I have trained myself to see it on demand. So when I want to see it, I can see it, but usually it's kind of switched off. And this is actually to protect myself because it's quite a lot of stimulation. Just imagine walking around in the world and seeing all of this. And maybe you're one of these people that constantly sees these geometric patterns and you're used to it. But if you're not used to it, it can be quite a lot. So our brains actually are wired to keep us from being overwhelmed. So think of a sound that we're constantly hearing. It's kind of at some point we're not even hearing it anymore because our brain has filtered it out. And I also want to say that some of the examples that I gave in this video, they might not encompass all of the things that you could possibly see. Maybe you have personally seen other things. And if you're clairvoyant, definitely share below in the comments what you are seeing and how you are perceiving the world, because it's super interesting. I want to talk about auras a little bit more. So these are the 4 aura types that we have on the planet, and this is how the aura moves. So this is not about the color actually. And I have taken this from Human Design, which is a beautiful system, and I mentioned having that neutrino ocean of energy that we're immersed in constantly, that is conditioned or charged or coded with information. And that is actually also a term from Human Design. So this is a system that is known mostly for the 4 aura types that you can see here and our Human Design chart, but it actually talks about a lot more, which I'm going to go into in future videos. Human Design actually doesn't talk about aura colors, only the movement that it makes. And as I said, energy is constantly in motion. And you can see that motion here. So for the manifestor aura type, and you can actually look up your aura type if you don't know it already, just by going to jovianarchive.com or another website that gives Human Design charts, and it will give you your aura type. And this gives insight in how your aura is moving. So for the manifestor, it moves outwards. And for the generator, it's actually enveloping and attracting. The projector is focused and the reflector is sampling. So I'm going to go over what all of this means. Their manifestor is moving out with their energy. So their aura is actually very closed. And this is to prevent other people from meddling with their decisions too much. It doesn't mean that you're repelling or closed as a person. It's just the way your energy moves. Manifestors are here to manifest something completely new, and you want to not really be interfered with too much, and your aura protects you against that. You're actually here to make an impact, and that's why your energy moves outward and it impacts other people. Then the generator or the manifesting generator, they have the same aura. It is enveloping. So your aura actually envelops and hugs the other person, which is quite pleasant when the generator or manifesting generator is in a good vibe, but it can be a bit overwhelming when they're not. And you're also attracting everything around you towards you. So where the manifestor's aura moves outward, the generator aura moves inward. And this is to actually have something to respond to, which is your strategy. You need to wait for things to come to you, and then you can respond to that with your life force to create something, to work, to have a passionate action of some kind. And this is also to protect you and to help you in life. Because as a generator, you want to have so much input. You want to have that attracting magnetic quality to your aura so that you can actually really feel and sense what is going on in the world around you and feel what your response is to it. And let's go to the projector now. And the projector has a focused aura that is actually focusing in on one thing. And it's very beautiful the way it works with the generator together, because projectors and generators are really meant for each other. And this is also why I chose to focus the projector aura in this animation on the generator G center, which is in the center of our chest. And it is actually what was in the 7th centered or chakra system, the heart chakra. In human design, it's called the G center. So it's a little bit different. We have 9 centers or chakras actually in human design, which is really interesting, but I'm not going to go into that too much. But basically the projector focuses in on the essence of the other person or whatever they're focusing on, just focusing straight to the core. And by the way, I do have a video on the projector generator relationship, so check that one out if you want to learn more about that. I have a couple in my playlist about human design relationships, and I will link that below. And both the generator and projector auras are very absorbent. Especially the projector absorbs the other person or one thing very deeply. The generator is more general in their absorption. The manifester is not as absorbent in their energy field, but this is not about how sensitive or intuitive or psychic you are, because you can be highly sensitive and a manifester, and you can still pick up a lot of things from the outside world. Your energy movement, the way your aura moves, is really about how you manifest your energy in the world. And as well, you can have different variations in every type. So a manifester that is very peaceful, their aura feels like gentle waves lapping on the shore. While for manifestors very out of alignment, they might actually feel repelling because their aura is so angry. And generators, they might be turned inward a little bit and not focus too much on absorbing the world around them with their senses. And the projector, they might just not be focused on anything in particular. So your aura is not necessarily making this specific movement all the time. There are slight variations in this, but it's kind of how you operate in the world, how you interact with the world. And then we have the reflector. The reflector samples the energies around them, so they have a completely open energy chart. So all of their centers are undefined, they don't have consistent energy from themselves. They're here to actually let everything around them move through them by sampling it. So they're not as absorbent as a generator or projector. This is to actually protect the reflector from overwhelm. So you're just taking little samples of every energy, just little bits instead of all of it. And this way you get a pretty good idea of the whole world around you, and you're actually meant to be an ultimate judge of your environment. So these are the 4 aura types and how your energy moves in the world. As I mentioned before, this is not saying anything about your aura color. It is not saying anything about the geometric patterns that are in your aura. And I personally believe that human design only gives insight in a certain layer of our existence. And as I said before, our aura has many different layers. So we have all of these different bodies. And according to Ra-Uru, who founded human design and channeled all of the material that is there, human design actually is the mental realm. So our chart and our energy type, our aura type, is actually how our energy function on the mental realm and interact with that part of existence. But we also have all of these other different realms. We have the etheric body with all of the meridians. And there are a few different spiritual bodies actually even above that are in even higher densities or dimensions. So it is really interesting how we can have all of these different systems and ways of perceiving the world, all of these different layers of ourselves, and get more insight in who we are and how we function and operate. So that's the aura colors, that's the aura types, the way our energy moves. And it is all coming together to shape and form who we are as human beings. And for me, that's the most beautiful thing, because this is where self-acceptance and self-love lie. So when we know ourselves, we can actually start to live as ourselves. And then we can unfold our purpose and our mission, which are really things that come automatically once we start getting into alignment. And for me, human design really, really helps to bring us into alignment when we've lost track of who we are. and what direction we want to go in and how we want to manifest and what we are dreaming about. So for me, even seeing clairvoyantly and having all of these psychic gifts, talking about things like the Lightworker Starseed mission and awakening, the importance of that for me is really to arrive at a place of self-love so that we can live as ourselves. And the best tool for me is human design for that. If you want to learn more, I actually have human design courses for the 4 most common types, so you can learn what your strategy is on how you can unlock that manifesting power of your aura. I also have a course on reclaiming your psychic self so that you can remember your psychic gifts that you had as a child. All of the links are below, and if this video was helpful, please like, comment, subscribe or donate to support this channel. Thanks for watching. I really like this new direction that I'm taking by incorporating human design more with my awakening content for starseeds and lightworkers. So let me know what you think, and there is lots more to come, so keep your eyes peeled. Sending so much love.